Hello and welcome to HyzerMedia's coverage of the Awesome Open 2022. We are at South Mountain for the final round of this tournament, run by BS Upshot and supported by our Patreon supporters. If you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, you can do so for as little as $2. But for today, I am Dave Oster here with Devin Frederick. Devin, who we got today?
We got Curtis Toews leading us off after the first round. Bradley Good coming up in second, 2 strokes behind him. Be Good. We got T-Jack, Thomas Jackowski, 3 strokes off the lead, and Ben Selkregg also tied with T-Jack, 3 strokes off the lead.
So pretty close up at the top as we move over to hole 1 from the red tee pad, playing quite a bit of the red tee pads to long baskets here at South Mountain. This one is a par 3, 272 feet. You see the drone flying through the right gap, usually the backhand hyzer, maybe a bit of a baby flex. There's also a forehand line, very thick thorn bushes, long and right, so don't want to go too far, and very rocky ground that can play kind of weird skips off your discs.
And yeah, you can see Curtis just got over on it a little too much. Catches a tree, keeps him in the fairway. Should be an easy and up and down. Bradley getting the forehand line up and through there. You should have about a circle's edge putt from there. T-Jack being a lefty, so we'll see a little bit of the lefty action today out of him. He's got a great forehand, really smooth with him, as you can see from that shot. Ends up a little long. Hopefully he's not obstructed and should have a putt for birdie.
A bit of a hill that he used as the backstop, so not a bad play if you can get through all the way clean. As we see, Ben does a little bit as well. He'll
Yeah,
wind up
a little
right on
early
the left
release.
side.
Ooh, really good bit out of Curtis there.
Picking
up right where he left off.
Yeah. A little bit of an annoying roll away, but he should be able to handle that as long as his putter is still on.
So one nice thing about the rocks out here, the rollaways usually don't go too far.
Right.
Ben just a little high. Wow, great putt out of T-Jack. And just some routine cleanups for the rest of these guys.
So one birdie on hole 1 as we move over to the next hole, par 3, 252 feet. Big hyzer through the woods, fairly forgiving line as long as you hit the gap. A lot of logs laying down behind the basket to stop you from going too far. And again, the rocks will slow your discs down as well. So it's kind of a point and shoot, get to the right spot, and your disc should probably stop pretty close to the basket.
Yeah, T-Jack's showing you a great line and parks it.
Yeah, you can't get much closer than that. It was pretty good. Took a little bit of a skip off that one short log and luckily got a good direction towards the basket.
Curtis catching one of the middle trees there. He's just going to be probably laying up, taking his 3. Be Good coming up a little short. He's probably right around circle's edge there. Ben's got a really nice line looking there.
And yeah, rolled right up to that long log, stopped him. It is downhill, so if you wind up over there all the way, you could potentially go pretty far downhill, but able to have his disc slope right in a good spot. He'll have inside circle look. Oh, Bradley almost getting it in there, hitting the top band. We've seen a couple of that already, hitting those top bands.
Good finish out of Ben. And then we'll tap the rest of these guys in. T-Jack with a great park job. And then Be Good and Curtis will be tapping in their pars.
Yep, keeping it close at the top. Everybody's within 2 strokes. Getting a little closer, catching up to Curtis. We move over to hole 3, par 3, 260 feet. Playing from the white tee for this round. Pretty much straight shot. Want to finish to the left, not go too far. You can see the beautiful view, but also means very steeply downhill. So too far could definitely get you going way past the basket. So again, kind of another point and shoot. Try to land in this one little grassy spot on the side of the mountain.
Yeah, this is definitely a little bit of a scary one for the lefty with it wanting to finish to the left. It looks like he went with probably a flippy putter there.
Yeah, good move though. Even try to challenge that left to right slope and the long going downhill.
That came out a little early for Ben, but the play of the terrain helped it filter down towards the basket. So he'll have about a circle's edge putt there as well. Not a bad toss by Curtis. He'll be probably just inside the circle. And that might have been Bradley's Toro again. That thing looked like it's pretty overstable.
Yeah, it looks like he rips on it and just like doesn't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, he said he likes it about it, but you definitely have to commit to your shots when you're throwing that kind of disc.
Yeah. But not a bad choice for a hole like this where going too far could be disastrous.
Correct. Nice little putt by Curtis. Another almost park job by T-Jack, finishing that up, getting another birdie. He's off to a really good start.
Yeah, 3 down through 3. Bringing him within 1 of the lead. So,
I like that. Be Good coffee or whatever in hand, bag on. Just nonchalant, just tapping them in.
cool. Just a walk in the park.
Yep.
So what do we got for hole 4?
We got 270-foot par 3. You want to hit this initial gap. This first tree comes up real quick and then slowly fades off to the right. This basket's on a little bit of a hillside, which is probably one of the worst holes out here for the rollaway. So even the putting gets a little tough. And this basket's actually kind of crooked yet, too. So makes it all that more scary when you get up there putting. So you want to try and get this one close. Sets up nice for the lefty.
Yeah, that seems like a perfect backhand lefty shot. Gets caught up though, probably the last tree to miss to really park it, but he's probably circle's edge a couple feet outside. Probably still have a look at it.
Yeah, that looked a little soft out of Curtis, so he hit one of the early trees and comes up a little short as well. He'll be pitching up for another par. That was a little overturn, catches a tree as well. Drifts farther down the hill. It's probably another pitch up for a 3. And Bradley's showing us the good forehand route. And he should be about 15, 20 feet. A little bit of a death putt off the hill, but he should be able to handle it.
Good run.
Yeah, he had a few trees in his way there, so. Yeah,
The
that was another
basket's
tough.
still, yeah, probably above his head.
Yeah, that's more uphill than it looks on camera from where he was there. Bradley getting the good bird.
I think he was even closer than it looked like from the first shot.
Yeah, it was. It was a little closer than I even thought. I thought he came up just a smidge shorter. Good par save out of T-Jack. Ben will tap in his bogey.
So card playing even, as you would expect, for the average this hole, playing close to even. As we move over to hole 5, par 3, very uphill, 219 feet, probably playing easily over 250 worth of power. Something flippy, uphill, backhand to counter the stability added for going uphill. And pretty much straight shot, a little bit to the right, if anything. The basket you'll find, and just trying to get up onto the green.
Yeah, this hole definitely, that 219 might even be to the short pin on this hole. I feel like this one's probably playing closer to a little over 300.
Yeah, it certainly seemed like, I think these guys are going with fairways, giving it a good pump to get up there. Actually, this is Curtis's boss.
And that's a great flick shot out of him. He's probably inside of the circle. Hopefully those trees aren't in his way. He's set up in between them.
Then taking the skinny gap. Like a kick to the side, a little early right. Pitching up over that thorn bush. Good second shot,
Good
though, to save
scramble.
us far, yeah. Long look. Just a bit low.
Nice putt by Be Good. Probably a good 40, 45 footer.
Still casually just walking towards the basket like he didn't just knock down a circle 2 putt.
Like he does it all day, every day.
Okay.
Good cleanup by Curtis. That's a good 2 to get.
And that was between a fairly narrow gap between those 2 big trees. We saw him over there. Couldn't see it on camera, but sometimes a putt like that can help because you're just kind of hitting your first gap, and if you line it up right, it's just going to go right to the basket.
Yeah, I always like when they're framed up myself.
And it is working for Curtis as he still has a 2-stroke lead. As we move over to hole 6, par 3, 262 feet. You're looking at the very tight line that only the non-faint of heart would take. There's a much wider backhand turnover or forehand line. Turn the corner late and find the basket up in this little pocket of trees.
Yeah, I think we'll see all 3 of our right-handed players probably take the forehand on this one. It sets up real nice for the forehand, as Bradley just showed us.
Yep, and he's in the circle again, playing great off the tee so far.
There's Curtis with his boss again. He's usually got that dialed in.
It's pretty interesting how wide of a range that he uses that boss on in terms of hole distances. Obviously, wide out in the open, he could probably throw 450 plus with it, then also flicks a little 260-foot hole through the woods.
Yeah, like he has a pretty limited bag, and he just knows how to work the disc he has and use it every way possible. And it works really well for him. A little recovery shot out of T-Jack, getting himself up there for a nice little drop in. Looked like he just had just a little bit too much hyzer on that one.
Yeah, we've seen Curtis miss a couple of these inside the circle putts uncharacteristically. If you watch the first round, if you haven't, definitely go back and see that. It was a pretty good round over at Jordan Creek. But yeah, even with the lead, we were mentioning that Curtis missed a few putts that probably he wouldn't normally if you wouldn't expect him to anyway. Still with the lead, so hopefully he can
Yeah,
clean
he
that up.
definitely missed some of his easier putts in the first round, and kind of did the same thing there. So hopefully it's only that one. He can clean it up and keep moving. So hole 7, 263, par 3. It's a good forehand hole. You're trying to hit this gap right over that rock and be turning to the right.
And Bradley barely got over that rock. I think from the tee, it actually looked like he hit it, but from the catch cam, you could see did get past
Wow.
it. And
Ben
that
hitting
was
the
good.
pole. And there's the boss again.
Oh, and almost hitting the pole as well.
Getting a little long, but it's right in his range. He seems to like him a little longer anyway.
Didn't want to go late.
I think T-Jack prefers a forehand over a backhand. So these last 2 holes being his backhand holes for him being a lefty, not his strong suit.
Yeah, it's always interesting having a lefty on the card, seeing how they play certain holes, especially a dominant lefty forehand. Probably one of the more rare preferences of a player that you see most days.
That was a great putt there by Curtis, getting back on track. Great birdie by Ben. Cleaning up his pars will be Bradley and T-Jack.
And what do we got for hole 8, Devin?
Hole 8, you're trying to hit that initial gap. That's the scariest part of this hole. You got about a 4-foot wide gap you're hitting off the tee. And then just going straight out here and fading out to the left a little at the end.
Yeah, the gap definitely is the scariest part. After that, pretty wide open, very fair fairway. Getting the left side. Curtis looks like maybe he was trying to cheat through those trees, but there's a pretty good opening. Right straight pin high coming in right to left. Probably more of where Ben's looking to get. And yeah, right there. That's probably there and
Yeah,
in is
that's
where the players are
perfect.
trying to get.
Yeah, you can get a good bit of ground play off of this. So the low little skip and scoot up towards the basket works great.
Yeah, definitely one of the places on the course that you can use the ground and get kind of a normal skip or an anticipated skip. Huge one.
Yeah, there's T-Jack showing it.
Bradley with a good second shot, just getting up to the basket, limiting any damage. A little too high on his tee shot.
I must say, Curtis either makes it or misses it completely, it seems like. There
Yeah.
hasn't been much of an in-between of just hitting metal or anything.
And
That was a great putt by Ben.
yeah, good putt by Ben. That definitely seems like it's a mental thing, would you say? If it's not just a little bit of form here and there, it's getting the right mindset to make that putt.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of the hardest parts about golf is just that mental to physical transfer.
Right, absolutely. And the good ones can definitely do it all, so. Hole 9 is a par 3, 305 feet, actually playing from the short tee pad to the short basket. I believe this is the B pin position. There was supposed to be a long tee pad to a longer red basket, but a couple bees nests were in the way, so we modified last second. Now we're playing this as a par 3. Still a great hole up the road, pretty much throwing a straight hyzer with the finish and trying to get close to the basket.
And yeah, Ben just leaked that out a little wide. and a little tighter, that would have been skipping right towards the basket.
So the longer pin position plays as a par 4. Would you say that the par 3 or playing as a par 4 is the more difficult version of this hole?
If we were playing the red to the long, it is definitely a much more difficult 2-par hole, because it's definitely a 2-shot hole from the long to the long, where this is kind of fits in for the rest of the course, where you can drive to the pin and just make your putt.
Yeah, I would agree. The second half of the fairway is much more in the woods, the long pin position. Kind of over where Bradley just hit it would be the entrance, and then another 2 to 250. But like you said, this makes more sense for the rest of the layout of this tournament, and still a very good hole.
It's a good little layup out of Bradley. A little bit of an early release again out of Ben. He's going to find himself needing something big to keep par. Not a bad bid. Not a bad birdie bid for Curtis.
There you go.
TJ putting together a pretty good round here.
Yeah, I was going to say much harder if that was a righty putt with that one tree on his right side. Lefty kind of gave him the clear way of the basket without having to adjust his form too much. But that will do it for the front 9. Thank you so much for watching. If you are interested and like this type of content, please hit that subscribe button. We are going to be back for the conclusion of this tournament, the final 9 holes. I hope you join us. Me and Devin will be here. So we will see you on the next hole.